Before we get to our main event fighters, I want to bring up a couple of people that have been instrumental in helping put this main event together. So please first help me welcome from No Limit Boxing, Matt Rose.
Thank you. First to Kathy, making this fight happen didn't take long. It was credit to you in terms of what you've done in the sport. Much respect, and we really appreciate the dealings we've had with main events. You know, it's going to be a great fight in terms of Bakhram and Tim. For us, we have a great relationship with PBC and continue to have that. They're the best platform in America, actually worldwide, and that's why we're associated with people at PBC. Thanks to Al and Louis for what they do. It's a platform that is superior to any other platform in boxing in America. So, my friend Tom Brown, thank you for everything you've done. We currently have another great working relationship that existed over the last couple of years. As Tim Tszyu continues to come through the ranks, you know, we had a hiccup last start through no fault of his own. You know, an injury that was sustained during a fight that most fighters would quit. There is no quit in Tim Tszyu, never has been, and this is why he's real. He's ready to show the world on Saturday night. He's ready to become a two-time world champion, and we're ready to go. Let's go, Tim Tszyu.
Thank you, Matt. And I also want to acknowledge Glenn Jennings, manager of Tim Tszyu, and a part of the Tszyu team. So I want to thank him as well for being here. And now we'll bring up one half of our main event. This man, 24-1, 17 knockouts. He is the former super welterweight world champion out of Sydney, Australia. He returns to the ring coming off red hot campaigns in 2023 that saw him elevated to a world champion. He has beaten the likes of former champions like Tony Harrison, top contenders like Brian Mendoza, and former title challenger Carlos Ocampo. This man will fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, and he has proven it throughout his career. Please help me welcome the Australian superstar Tim Tszyu.
What an intro right there. Sounds pretty good. First of all, I didn't actually come prepared for a speech, so sort of winging it. Would like to thank PBC, No Limit. Again, what a platform to be. I'm a young kid, just living his dream, you know. First guy to headline an Amazon Prime card, pay-per-view. Now the first free-to-air. It's a big honour for me. And as a young kid, this is what you wish for, and this is what I'm dreaming, and I'm believing, and I'm working, and I'm living my dream. A lot of hard work comes into this. For me, this fight means it's not just an ordinary fight. This is it's a vengeance fight. It's not just a world title, but it's the comeback. I believe I am the man at 154. I just need the time to prove it. I keep taking these one-on-one fights, one by one. I'm looking to get rid of each and every one of them. Bakhram, no, there's nothing personal there. I'm not no sideline fighter. I'm coming in as a former world champion. I'm coming in ending new. So thank you all.
Thanks so much, Tim. And now let's meet some members of part of Team Bakhram. First, before we get to Bakhram, I want to bring up a woman who is very well known throughout the boxing community. She is a Hall of Famer, the CEO of Main Events. Please help me welcome Kathy Duva.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank Tom Brown. I've been working with him for a long time now, and it's always a pleasure to be here and work with this wonderful staff. Matt Rose, it's the first time we've ever worked together, so far so good. This fight is really important. As you know, Main Events has been involved in great fights for a long, long time. In some ways, we find ourselves in kind of going back to the beginning again. I've got a young champion who just won his title in the most difficult circumstances I could imagine in Germany earlier this year. He was fasting for Ramadan. He was weak. We were in this hotel out in the middle of nowhere. He had no access to restaurants or anything like that. The whole thing was just very difficult. And this place is beautiful and it's such much better circumstances. But I know that Bakhram, who is having his coming out here now in the United States, because his career really didn't get, unfortunately, the kind of publicity that we would have loved, but it was just not possible as he was beginning to hit his stride right at the start of COVID. Been a battle back, and so he's here. He's got the world title, and I don't think he plans to get there. It's going to be a great fight. So.
I also want to acknowledge the manager of Bakhram. This man has also helped make this fight easy to make. The manager of Team Bakhram, Igas Klimas. I want to thank him for being a part of tonight's fight, or Saturday's fight night. Now let's introduce the champ. This man won the IBF Super Welterweight title. He's 22-0, 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Originally from Russia, now training in Oxnard, California. He is 31 years old and became a world champion this past April as he traveled to Germany, his opponent's home turf, winning the title in a dramatic 11th round stoppage over Jack Kolke. Please help me welcome Bakhram Murtazaliev.
Всех приветствую, спасибо всем, кто пришел, много говорить не буду, спасибо организации, спасибо всем вам. Давайте дождемся субботы и устроим драку.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm not going to talk much. I just wanted to thank everybody who helped to organize the bout. I wanted to help everybody who participating here. I'm not going to talk much. Let's wait till Saturday, and we're going to have a good bout.
What was it like for you to become a world champion? You've been waiting for a while, but you were able to make it a reality this past April, going into Germany and stopping Jack Kolke. What was that feeling like for you, especially in a division that is now becoming littered with so many big, big names?
Я очень рад, что стал чемпионом мира, сейчас защищаюсь. Дай Бог, после этого боя буду объединять пояса. Я очень рад, я наслаждаюсь моментом.
I'm very, very happy to become a champion. I'm happy looking forward for this fight on Saturday night. And God bless, everything going to be okay. I'm going to be unifying my titles, and that's my bout.
Tim, you know, you're coming off a defeat, but you are now diving right into another difficult challenge in Bakhram, a champion. You can become a two-time champion. Why take on this challenge so soon?
I've always wanted the biggest and toughest challenges out there. So for me, it was a no-brainer when this fight came in tuition. It was made. I had no hesitation at all. I was actually hunting him down for quite some time. I remember when the Charlo fight between him and Charlo that's when he first came on the radar, and then when I started looking at him, I remember calling the boys as soon as me and Charlo fight got made. Let's get Bakhram. Apparently, they didn't want it. So I've been chasing the big fights, the big names, the toughest, scariest monsters, let's just say monsters out there. Unfortunately, they don't frighten me.
Bakhram, what do you have to say to what Tim just said, where he said he's been chasing you for quite some time and you didn't want the fight?
Да я, если честно, особо не бегал, не отковывал. Я думаю, если бы он хотел бы подраться, ну, реально бы хотел подраться, я думаю, было бы какое-то предложение хотя бы. Но мне никто ничего не говорил.
To tell you the truth, I never was hiding from everybody, and I was never running from everybody. If he really wanted to fight me, he can always make an offer earlier, so I never heard anything about that before.
Back to you,
What
Tim.
did I say? Sorry?
He said that, they never got an offer, they never, they were willing to fight, and they never heard from you.
Oh, well, I guess step aside money and easier risk opponents to keep that mandatory spot is much easier than facing a big bad monster.
Well, the fight is for sure happening this Saturday. I want to acknowledge your manager, Glenn Jennings, and Glenn, obviously Tim's got a huge fight coming Saturday, can be another world champion. What's it like to have his father, the renowned, legend of Costa Tszyu, in attendance watching his son?
We're all super excited to have the royalty of boxing sitting here in the room with us right there in the corner. He's just arrived and walked in the door, so welcome, Costa. It's great to have you here, mate. For the boys, Nikita and Tim, it's just another step in their evolution, and such an exciting thing to have Dad ringside going into Tim's 27th fight. We haven't seen Costa at ringside since his first fight, so it's been a long time in the making and a long time coming, and we couldn't be happier. I'm sure Tim feels the same way. I'm sure Nikita and our whole team were just ecstatic to be in the presence of our greatest of all time, Costa.
Mark my words, the last name Tszyu will live on as the greatest boxing family ever lived.
Yeah.
And me, when my brother are done with this.
Over to you, Bakhram. Do you feel like fans and Tim are potentially overlooking you? And what are you looking to send to the rest of not only just Tim Tszyu and his team, but the rest of the division?
Да, если честно, мне вообще без разницы, оценивают, недооценивают, переоценивают, это не имеет никакого значения. В субботу мы выйдем в ринг, и все увидят, никаких проблем. Уже разговоры должны заканчиваться, время боя.
To me, it really doesn't matter if they're overrating me, if not, they're not looking too much into me. I really don't care about it. All the talkings must be in. Saturday night is a fight, and that's what we must be concentrated.
Tim, over to you. Bakhram recently said in a pretty recent interview that he's seen you fight and he sees a lot of mistakes in to sum things up in your fights, and that he knows what to do. How do you respond to that comment?
Beautiful. When we step in the ring, I think it's gonna be all a bit different. And that's the best part about boxing, is taken by surprise. He's faster than I thought. He's stronger than I thought. He hits harder than I thought. That's all the questions are going to be answered on Saturday night.
Now, I mentioned earlier, I asked Bakhram, I'm going to ask you, this 154-pound division has so many huge names. What message are you looking to send to the rest of those guys that are going to be watching? There's a lot of potential mega fights down the line. What kind of statement are you looking to make Saturday?
Boogeyman is back. The 154-pound division, I never left. I went to hell and back the coming fight, but this is my vengeance, my comeback. This is my statement to be made type fight.
All right, let me ask Bakhram, the champ, Saturday night, October 19th. How do you have the fight playing out in your mind, and what happens?
Буду стараться бить и не давать бить себя. Все очень просто.
Very simple. I'm gonna do everything, make sure not to be hit into that fight.
As for you, Tim, prediction Saturday, do you become a two-time champ?
Look, I'm not going to say predictions, but I'm just going to show him that this is no step-aside fighter.
You heard it here from Tim Tszyu, Bakhram Murtazaliev, a huge event from Caribe Royale Resort here in Orlando, Florida. Premier Boxing Champions on Prime Video. It all goes down Saturday, October 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. You do not want to miss this card. It is sure to be action-packed from start to finish. Before we wrap things up, we're going to have fighters pose for photos. And